Swear to God, man. A sorcerer's work, it's never done. If it ain't one thing, it's another. And I got two things lined up now. It doesn't take too long to reach Tsukumoshi village on foot, but as I match the pace of the two snakes, the sun is already starting to set by the time we arrive. When there weren't people around, I'd let the snakes coil themselves around my arms and carry them part of the way. I am the snake god. And he says, I'm not particularly afraid of snakes, so I don't have a problem with it. But I'm sure if someone saw me with two large serpents coiled around my limbs, they'd scream in terror. I don't know, like, maybe they're just like, oh, it's his little pets. Their bodies feel slightly cool, what with snakes being cold-blooded creatures, but it's actually kind of pleasant. Thanks to the brothers' directions, our journey up the mountain is smooth. And sure enough, in the vicinity of Tsukumoshi village, home to clean streams and rich rice paddies, is a stagnant pool of dark water. Oh, I'm not ready. If it were any larger, it could almost be considered a swamp. Ooh, so it's like a little patch of swamp. So this is the aforementioned dark abyss, huh?
そうです、魔法使い殿。
Let me just take a sample. The stagnation that occurs naturally in nature is not necessarily the same as stagnation that occurs due to spirits. The hairs on my body stand on end. I could sense that an evil spirit lurks within its
い
depths.
つも通りであれば、このまま夜を待てば声が聞こえ始めるはずです。
Can a sorcerer get corrupted in some sort of way? Because that'd be really bad. Nightfall, huh? Pull out my smartphone out of my pocket and check the time. If it wails at night, that must mean it's a spirit that grows stronger at night. We should settle this while there's still daylight.
なるほど。
That's the smart plan. I would rather not wait till he's most powerful. That is my honest verdict, but also if we have to wait around until evening, then I won't get back until after midnight. Midari would be worried about me. She's got her own problems worrying about right now. And if she's made dinner for me like she usually does, I don't want to miss out. But if I told them that, it would kind of ruin the whole great sorcerer image they have of me, so I keep that part to myself. At any rate, I get straight to work. I surround the dark abyss with the same sacred rope that I used back at the base. The corrupted one's like, hey, what are you doing? Stop it. At the base, the sacred rope creates a barrier that prevents intruders getting in. But in this case, the barrier is intended to prevent the corrupted one from getting out. This sacred rope was originally used by the Matagi, and the practice is continued by sorcerers like me. It is especially effective against the defiled spirits of the dead. And while I may not know who or what this corrupted one is, I suspect it'll do the trick. Hey, corrupted one, take this, you son of a bitch. You're trapped. The brothers hide in the grass behind me. I cover the sacred rope in white birch bark. Fuck. Then I carve the rune into it. Oh, it's the rune of rotation. It represents the endless path of the sun. I don't know what that means. I am he who understands the secrets of the land. Heed my call. And now it's nighttime, and I don't. Why did it go to nighttime? And as soon as I complete the incantation, our surroundings are coated in darkness, as though a thick curtain had been hung over the
なん
sun.
といかなることか。まだ日が暮れるまでに時間があったはず。
Oh, this is bad.
これも汚れた者の仕業か。
Calm down, you two. This is my magic.
なんですと、
okay.
魔法使い殿は日輪まで操ることができると。
I could do a lot of things. I may be a sorcerer, but not even a master of the arcane arts could easily control the path of a planet, much less the sun itself. To do so would be to control time and space itself. Now that would be awesome. This is merely an illusion that works within the barrier. Oh. Ah, okay. I got scared for a second. If you look outside the barrier, you can see the same evening view as before. So what, it's to like trick it? But to those within the barrier, it seems as though the curtain of night has fallen. The Serpent Brothers are no exception. Whoa, no. It sounded like a car revving up. Hold up, he's trying to start. Hold up. And neither is the corrupted one. A strange sound, like a metallic screech, reverberates from the depths of the dark abyss.
これです。この世を呪うような汚らわしい鳴き声。
聞いているこちらまで汚れそうなこの声を毎夜毎夜上げているのです。
Doesn't sound like they said, it's metallic. It's very strange. It sounds like somebody attempting to cut through a large chunk of steel with a faulty buzzsaw. Even humans would find this racket unbearable. After enduring this every night, I can see why the snake sought my help. I suspect that you must be the ruler of this abyss. Uh-oh. Hello. And no sooner do I address the source of the sound. Oh, God, excuse me. Then it suddenly stops, as though it had drawn its last breath, and then it died. Uh-oh.
わしらが話しかけても一向に意に介さなかった汚れたものが。
泣き止んだ。
It just comes out, freaks me out. Oh, the sudden silence is broken by the faint sound of water coming from the abyss. Why do you cry night after night? Tell me! I suspect that my question is heard, yet it is only met with silence. Even if this spirit can understand human speech, if it has become corrupted, cursed soul, then there's no use in reasoning with it. My only option would be to exorcise it. I can only pray that is not the case. That's like last resort, because, keep the peace. We gotta do what we gotta do, man. Oh.
嬉しき時は昼に泣くもの。
God, he's got a cool voice, though.
悲しくもないのに夜に泣くものがあろうか。
What happened to you, my friend? A low voice echoes from the depths of the abyss. Thank God. Seems that we were able to communicate. Its voice is steeped in sadness, but it still seems to be sane. Sorrowful spirit, may I speak with you? No, now die. Oh. Now let's hash this out. Let's see what's going on. Maybe I could fix it. I'm a
か
sorcerer.
つてこのつくも牛村には巧妙な上人様が治める山寺があった。
Oh boy.
弟子も多く清廉でありながらも活気のある良き山寺であった。その山寺に住んでいた我と妻は毎日その徳の高い上人様の経を聞いておった。
Oh no.
その経のおかげか我らはいつしか霊意を得ることができた。
I silently listen to the corrupted one as he begins to speak.
上人様は我らに気づくと大変喜ばれ、人ならざる我らを迎え入れてくれた。
Oh, what a nice priest.
我らも上人様や弟子たちに毎日粥を振る舞い、小僧と天の姿で共に修行に励むようにまでなっていた。
Rice porridge.
だが我らと比べ人の一生は儚く短いもの。
Yup, that they are.
徳の高い上人様であっても100年と生きることはできなんだ。
Humans are lucky to even live to 100, to be honest.
上人様が亡くなられた後、弟子たちは誰が寺を継ぐかをめぐって争いを始めた。
Oh, here they go. I see that none of the pupils were as virtuous as the priest. They immediately started arguing.
それだけ上人様の存在が大きかったということであろうな。
He held everything together.
幾人かの皇帝を中心に弟子たちは分派し山寺を出た。 だが
Oh. Suddenly, the voice of the ruler of the dark abyss, the corrupted one, begins to tremble with anger.
片見分けと称して我を連れ去り妻は一人寺に残されることとなってしまったのだ
Oh no, wait a minute. Wait, hold on.
妻は我が半身も同然この身を引き裂かれる思いだっただから我は必死に荷物の中から転がり出て妻の元へ帰ろうとしたのだ
They just fucking snagged him? That's fucked up.
しかし手足を持たぬ我が身では転がるままにこの淵へと落ちてしまった
I see. So that's what happened.
淵の底で無念を嘆き妻と引き裂かれた不運を嘆くこと幾清掃
Dude, that's horrible.
用
Wait.
意として力を増しはしたものの我は汚れたものとなり果てた上人様の教を聞き妻と共に悟りを開かんと修行した日々を自ら無駄にしてしまったのだ
This must be an object spirit. Okay. An item that gained spiritual power from being inside the temple and became the vessel for a spirit. When these objects exist among humans for 100 years, they become influenced by human emotions. And even more so if they exist in the presence of an individual with great spiritual power, such as a priest. And after attaining enough spiritual power, they took the form of humans and trained under the priest. But the pure spiritual energy he had acquired was tainted by the misery of being separated from his wife, attracting impurity to his soul. Dude.
汚れた者にそのような経緯があったとは知らなんだ。嘆きの声を上げるのも致し方なし。
Yeah, I'd be crying too. Wait, in that case, why'd you only start crying now? According to these snakes, I understand that you've only begun to cry recently. I was wondering.
そうじゃな。この一月ほどじゃ。
I was like, how long has he been doing this?
積み重なる汚れをまとった我はもはやこの淵に沈み静かに朽ちていくつもりであっただが水辺に住まう小さき者の話を聞いてしまったのだ
Oh? What'd they say?
我が持ち去られた後も上人様の山寺は一部の弟子によって続いていたがついに廃寺となり残された家財もすべて塵やくたになり果てたのだと
Oh, that's depressing. The surface of the abyss starts to ripple from the corrupted one's anger.
我は待たせたまま愛しき妻を塵やくたにゴミにならせてしまったのだ
I mean, maybe like she's... that is what this object spirit must regret most of all.
妻はきっと我の帰りを待っていたに違いないたとえ何百年経とうともいつか帰ると疑わず待ち続けてくれたに違いないこれが泣かずにいられようかもはやこの汚れた身をもってうつしおに残ることすら愛おしい汚れ果て正気を失えばいつしか徳の高き者が我を滅しに参ろうそうすれば我も消え去ることができる
Oh no.
我に問いかけし者は小さき者より聞こえし不可能の魔法使い殿であろう
Yeah, that's right.
我は時を経ずして正気を失い汚れをまき散らすたたり神となろう
Well,
その前に
I
魔
wanna,
法使い殿のお力で
I wanna figure this out before that even
我
happened.
を
No.
召してくだされ
Oh, don't say that. As the sorcerer of Fukano, it is my duty to preserve the peace. I have heard the requests of numerous spirits over the years. However, this is the first time I've ever received such a grim request. He just wants to die. I cannot allow him to contaminate the foot of this sacred mountain. Therefore, I would be within my rights to do as the ruler of the abyss desires and exorcise him, then conduct a ritual to purify this land. However, Excuse me, snakes, could I ask you to move back for a moment?
んはい。しかし、何をなさるおつもりですか？
I step toward the dark abyss. Oh, I'm getting in. Then step into the water and proceed to submerge myself into it. I will become one with the
い
darkness.
かがされるつもりですか、魔法使い殿。その身も汚れますぞ。
I will become a corrupted one as well. Oh. Now, hip deep in the water, I draw the rune with my hand. Oh, rune of water. It represents the drifting tide. I am one who understands the secrets of the land. I am the shaman of the runes, their sculptor. Fuck, heed my call. Oh. I win. Though this abyss may be an accumulation of mud and slime and pollution, as long as there is water, my rune should still be effective. And I should be able to let the submerged object rise to the surface. Oh, okay, cool. Bubbles start to rise from the grimy depths as though something is moving toward the surface. And then, with a splash, out pokes a grimy face from the water. How dare you expose me? But no sooner does it emerge than the grime washes away, revealing a large iron pot. Oh, hey, okay. Okay, I get where you're going with this. There is not a speck of rust or decay to its black metal surface, likely due to the spiritual power contained within it. So yeah, the iron pot lady at base, that we're figuring this all out. We got this.
我を召してくださるのですな。
Oh shit. The iron pot asks with firm resolve. I draw this rune, the N. Heed my call. Ooh. Then I grab the corrupted one, no, the iron pot spirit, and pull it out of the abyss.
魔法使い殿。何を
You're coming with me, buddy. Though I may have managed to bring the iron pot to the surface, it was far too large for me to carry myself. I mean, the lady one was stomping around with the boom, boom, breaking our shit. So I enlisted the help of the strength rune and pulled it out. Ruler of the Abyss, please tell me the location of this mountain temple where you once lived with your wife and the priest.
なんともはや廃され地理悪たになり果てた寺へと行くと申されるのか。
And? Well, we don't know that for certain, do we? Even after hundreds of years of lying at the bottom of this abyss, your craft work is still in impeccable condition. The same could be true for your wife, so let's go and find out.
しかし
I never thought of this. I know what the spirit of the iron pot is worried about. Even if your wife survived, you do not wish to see her in your corrupted form, huh? We'll figure that out along the way. He still considers himself to be the corrupted one. He cannot easily forget the countless years of grief he endured. For a brief moment, I'm reminded of a certain somebody. But I quickly shake that thought from my mind. If the spirit of this iron pot feels such regret that he deems losing his sanity is the only way for him to find peace, then we need to search for this temple and find out what happened. Okay, then can you wait nearby? Or you could wait nearby if you wish, but I want you to come with me. If the temple has been reduced to waste, let's perform a memorial service for the temple. Oh, that's a nice idea. I like that. Oh, I leave the dark abyss and proceed along the mountain path, carrying the iron pot behind me. Remember, it's actually this time and not pitch darkness. I'm still protected by the rune of strength. Carrying an iron pot this large by myself would surely have crushed me. These goddamn heavy-ass iron pots. The Snake Brothers keep their distance as they slither behind us, still likely afraid of the impurity of the iron pot. I ain't.
魔法使い殿は不思議なお方だ。
I'm straight up manhandling this pot, dude. The iron pot mutters quietly as I carry it on my back. You think so?
誰もが忌避する我を淵の底から引き上げるだけでなく、臆することなく触れるものが現れようとは。
Do I
我
like...
自身夢にも思いませんでした。
So I'm only directly carrying him on my back? I'm not like... I haven't like tied him on my back or anything. Well, like I said, I am a sorcerer. Damn. Sometimes we rely upon the pure strength of the divine spirits of nature, but other times we require the impure strength of demons too. When there's no way around it, I need to understand the true nature of the situation and handle it accordingly. That is the duty of a sorcerer, and I'm such a good sorcerer.
なるほど。そうでなくては万象に霊が宿るこの不可能の地の魔法使いは務まらないのですな。
Yeah, that wouldn't be a very good one, huh? The iron pot seems satisfied with that answer and falls silent. I lack the knowledge to offer a more textbook-like answer. The answer I just gave was more of my own ideals. There are no doubt countless other ways I could possibly tackle this current issue if I wanted to take more time with it. But after centuries of anguish, I do not wish to keep this iron pot away from his wife any longer than I have to. Just go home, she's there. Not that I know that. After talking with the Iron Pot and the Snake Brothers, we arrive at the location where the mountain temple should be. However, however, please.
ここだ。確かにかつてここに寺があった。
It's not even there. But all that remains are the ruins of a building, likely the temple in question. This degree of decay does not seem as though it occurred over the span of a day. It seems that several decades must have passed since this temple was abandoned. With only the rotting foundations in its place, you could barely imagine the layout of the former temple. Hearing about the temple from the Iron Pot and the snakes, it almost felt as though the temple had been only abandoned within the past couple years. I mean, even a couple years can do this, depending on the location. Overwhelmed by both nostalgia and despair, the Iron Pot is at a loss for words. I'm unable to form any words either, so we just stand there in silence. And as I look over the grounds... Are those... What am I looking at here? I notice something. An area where earth seems to have piled up. Upon closer inspection, I notice burn marks too. Ooh. There are two large holes, where perhaps two large iron pots had been placed. I can only imagine that this is where the Iron Pot spirit and his wife once belonged. Oh. For this temple to have two large iron pots for cooking, it clearly must have had many pupils that needed providing for, just as the Iron Pot told me. Well, fuck those pupils. They fucking suck. Two large iron pots, providing nourishment for the people of this temple, deep in the mountains. Gained spiritual powers by hearing the priest's chants, and became a happy spirit couple. Where there are homes, there's cooking, no matter where you live. There were even some rituals in distant provinces, where they could use the sound of a burning pot to tell people's fortune. What? So it comes as no surprise to me that there are two iron pots, who have sustained the lives of many people of the shrine, would be blessed with spiritual energy.
魔法使い殿。
Oh, that's just the one word. As I imagine what life at this mountain temple must have been like all those years ago, the Iron Pot speaks.
これまでです。もうここに妻はいない。たとえチリヤクタになっていなくとも、 もはや会うことはかなわないでしょ
But that's what we need to
う。
do.
ここで我が生まれた地で我を打ち砕いてくださいませんか、魔法使い殿。
No, it's too soon to give up hope. If your wife was here, then I should be able to use my powers to find her. I could I could do that. Although I'm the one insisting on it, what I'm proposing is no simple feat. Searching for items is relatively simple, but searching for an iron pot that went missing from a temple that rotted away, who knows how many years ago, is a different thing entirely. We might still be in luck if the iron pot is still within Fukano. Wink, yes. But if it was taken away to some faraway place, it's as good as gone. But there's still hope.
もう良いのです。こうして実際に会えるかもしれないと思ったことで確信しました。
And there's still the chance.
汚れを帯びた今の我では妻に合わせる顔がない。
You can't give up hope.
魔法使い殿。
Hope is all we have. Well, it was then that I realized I'd become so invested in this that before I knew it, I was more determined to resolve it for myself than I was to bring peace to the iron pot. For him to have been left to brood over this for years and become so corrupted that he wished for his own demise, honestly made me a little angry. Made me wonder how I'd feel if I were in his position. If I were separated from her. What would I do? How would I feel? And just as I was about to try and reason with the iron pot, oh my god. Suddenly we hear a heavy metallic sound coming this way. Wait.
お前様。
Oh!
お前様でしょ。
Yes!
まさか。
Yes! Let's go! Midari's like, hello, I brought this. Another large iron pot rolls toward us, and it bears a striking resemblance to the one I pulled out from the dark abyss. Oh!
先生。
Yay! Midari, you done did good. And following after it was none other than Midari. Midari, what are you doing here?
実は。 お前様。
Jesus is just crashing everything, making holes in the dirt.
来るな。それ以上近づいてはならぬ。
No, maybe getting near her will stop you from being corrupted. When the rolling pot, who is surely the wife in question, tried to approach him, the corrupted one let out a loud bellow of a roar to stop her. After the reverberating screech of his yell, the grounds of the former mountain temple fall silent.
どうして。お前様。
This has really complicated things. Guess it's up to the sorcerer to sort this out. I got this. He's like snaps his fingers. Time to do my job. As the sorcerer of Fukano, I should be the one to settle this. Everybody turns to face me. Midari, could you tell me who this iron pot is? I'm certain I already know who, but it's easiest if I ask Midari to tell me.
この方は先生の不可能の魔法使いの館へ相談にいらっしゃった用意の方です。
I see.
事情を伺っている最中に先生がつくもし村の件で出ていることをお話ししたら
It's like, oh, that's where I'm from.
突然何も言わずに飛び出してここまで休まずに転がり続けてきたんです。
Dude, she hustled.
館を開けてしまうのもどうかとは思ったのですがこのままこの方を放っておくこともできなかったので
You're a good soul yourself, Midari. I see. So when you mentioned the abyss at Tsukumoshi village, she immediately understood the situation and couldn't stand to wait a moment longer.
その通りです。
まさか。
No. I gesture for the corrupted one to wait. We should let his wife speak first. I turn to face his wife. She's a size smaller than her husband, but still a sizable iron pot in her own right. I imagine just like a slightly smaller. She's a little dirty to having rolled around all the way up here, but she appears to have be a well-loved utensil. If this is her true form, then I can see how the spirit of the ruler of the abyss, her husband, was transformed by the dark impurity that clings to his body. May I ask you to tell me what it is that you wish to request of the sorcerer of Fukano?
はい。私とそこにおります夫は、この地にあった山寺の釜でありました。
Mm-hmm.
日々、徳の高い上人様の度胸を聞き、
Her recount of their story was identical to the one I heard from her husband.
他の弟子に連れ出された夫を探そうと思いましたが、用意となったとはいえ、本来手足のない私は遠くへとは参れません。
To travel far, okay.
ならば、幾とせ、幾ももとせでも夫を待ち続けようと、この寺のかまどで待ち続けておりました。
It's like I'm sick of waiting.
しかし、継ぐ者も失ったこの寺は風雨にさらされ、このように朽ち果て、待つべき場所すらなくなってしまいました。そこでようやく気がついたのでございます。待っているだけではいけないのだと。
I'm taking matters into my own hands. And when the Iron Pot wife confidently stated her determination, not only did her husband gasp, but even
故
Midari.
に私はすべての霊力をこの身を動かすことに注ぎ、ようやくその力を得ることができたのです。
God damn.
この地を調停すると言われる魔法使い様にご相談すれば、必ずや夫の行方を探し当ててくださると信じ、館までたどり着いた次第です。
I see. However, it would seem that you were able to locate your husband in no time at all without my help. I look at the Iron Pot
我
husband.
が妻よ。
お前様。
This is the reunion of a couple who had been parted for centuries. A faithful encounter between two iron pots who, after all these years, never once forgot their love for each other.
幾桃とせも待っていてくれたのはとても嬉しい。手足なき身でありながら探し当ててくれたことも感謝している。だが我はもはや君と添い遂げることができぬ身になり果てているのだ。
It's like slap some sense in this Iron Pot man.
君が我を待ち続けてくれた時を我は悔恨と無念を重ねることに費やし汚れてしまっている。この地で過ごした君との思い出も汚してしまったのだ。
そんな、お前様。
It didn't sound like it.
来てはならぬ。我に触れれば君まで汚れを受けてしまう。
Again, maybe this is what you need to not be corrupted. You know? How could this be? The two of them cared so deeply for each other, and at last, after centuries, they're finally reunited. And yet, it was because his feelings were so strong that he became corrupted. Unlike humans whose souls are contained within physical bodies, spirits lack that buffer. So when they become corrupted, it's not so easy to purify them as it would be a human. I got this. I look to the side and see Midari with her hands clutched to her chest, a pained expression on her face as she watches. She glances at me but quickly looks away, hanging her head. Perhaps Midari sees her succubus self in the corrupted one. Probably.
魔法使い殿。
The Iron Pot husband turned to look at me. Don't even fucking say it.
我を滅せないと言われるのであれば、どうか我を今一度あの淵へ沈めてくださいませんか。
No.
何 をおっしゃっているのです。
できうるならば二度と浮かび上がれぬよう深く深く沈めてほしい。愛する人を汚さぬために泣く声で誰も怖がらせずに済むように。
I feel like the cries would still, you know. But I.
そんなのいけません。
Yeah, you tell him. Before I can even respond, Midari takes the words right out of my mouth. Even Midari herself seems taken aback by her outburst. What have I done? She mustn't have been able to keep those feelings to herself. But she looks straight at the Iron Pot husband and boldly refutes him.
そちらの黒い鉄釜の方、うちの主様の気持ちは痛いほどわかります。私も用意、自分もまた触れれば異性を傷つけ殺しかねない業を持つものなのです。
Don't I know it? Midari. I look at Midari as she speaks and think back to how she used the rune during the conflict between the mountain and water spirits.
相手を思うほど、近づこうとするほどに自らの業が相手を傷つける。それが何よりも恐ろしい。だから大切な人を傷つけたくない気持ちはよくわかる。できることならば自ら消えてしまいたいと思う。その気持ちさえ理解できます。けど
Oh, Midari speaks so emphatically. I feel a twinge in my chest.
それでも相手の方は、奥様はずっと待っててくれたのですよ。手足のない用意でありながら、その身を地にこすりつけ転がりながらあなたを探したのですよ。
Dude, she channeled all her spiritual power to just start moving. Come on now.
それなのに思いが強いからこそ、慟哭が深かったからこそ一緒にいられないなんて、あまりにも悲しすぎる。
I feel the exact same way she does. Actually, no. Midari can perceive the sadness of these two spirits on an even deeper level than me. Yeah, she's got this. But to cleanse the Iron Pot husband of this several hundred years worth of accumulated impurity would be exceedingly difficult. Even if I could manage to cleanse him of his impurity, there would eventually come a day where these two would become parted once again. What should I do? Oh my god. As I'm contemplating the situation, the Iron Pot wife rolls toward her husband and crashes into him. Wham!
何をしている。離れるのだ。君まで汚れてしまう。
You shut your goddamn mouth. The black Iron Pot shivers as he yells in both anger and
お
sorrow.
前様、良いのです。ただそばにいさせてくださいませ。
What if she's like, even if I also become corrupted?
確かに、お前様は汚れたものになられたのでありましょう。ならば、共に汚れればよいではありませんか。
Oh no, there it is. He's like, that's not what I wanted.
共にいられない寂しさに比べたら、そんなもの。淵の底で嘆き続け、汚れを受けたほどのお前様が、その寂しさ、その悲しさを知らぬとは言わせませんよ。
The Iron Pot husband was clearly overwhelmed by the intensity of his wife's
お
words.
前様が再び淵の底に沈むというなら、どうか私も一緒に沈めてくださいまし。どれだけ深く、どれだけ暗い場所であったとしても、それならもう寂しい思いはせずに済みますから。
Oh. I do not wish to send either of them back down there. But before I could say that, the Iron Pot wife
共
continued.
に汚れ、落ちるのならば、どこまでも一緒に落ちましょう。 それが夫婦のいえ惚れてしまったものの差がでございます。
What a woman. Oh, I feel a shock up my spine when I hear those words. Rather than trying to retreat from his wife, he remains perfectly still, as though he were frozen to the spot. And then... Oh! The grime that covered the surface of the black iron pot. Oh! No, the physical manifestation of his impurity slowly peels away. See, this is what we wanted!
これは一体
Yes! That's impossible. The power of love!
先生、どうしましたか？
The impurity that accumulated on his body is the manifestation of many years of remorse, and it should influence any soul or spirit that comes in contact with it. To rid one of such impurity is no simple task. It would be a long process that, if done incorrectly, could risk further amplifying the corruption. And yet, the impurity is visibly peeling away from his body, revealing underneath the surface of iron with the same sheen and texture of that as his wife's.
きっと二人の愛の奇跡ですね。
It's always the power of love. Yeah. A miracle, huh? As a sorcerer, I don't like to chalk things up to miracles. But seeing Midari moved to the brink of tears by this feat, I don't want to be a wet blanket. I suspect that this temple was built atop of a spiritual artery on Mount Chiane. And although only the ruins of the temple may remain, the ground upon which it is built is still rich with spiritual energy. So it's love and spiritual powers. And as his wife had been devotedly waiting right here in this sacred place, the counter opposite to the dark abyss, I see. For hundreds of years, her spiritual powers had only continued to grow. Basically, she'd been slowly gaining the spiritual power to cleanse her husband's impurity without even realizing it. If that coincidence could be considered a miracle, then yes, perhaps it is a miracle of love. Nice! To fully cleanse several hundred years' worth of impurities could take an equal amount of time to undo, perhaps even longer. But I'm sure you two will see it through.
魔法使い殿
The most ideal situation would be to rebuild this mountain shrine and for you to take care of it. But that is beyond my means. Seek out a temple that'll take good care of you both.
それでは再び淵の底に沈まなくても。
I never intended that from the start. Damn. Even in this region with many sources of pure water, that abyss was just a point where the flow stagnated. Your husband's regrets weren't solely to blame for his impure state. So all you need to do is stay on sacred ground and let it slowly whittle away by itself, little by little.
なるほどそうでしたか
And this seems to calm the spiritual aura of the corrupted one. Though that name no longer seems appropriate for him.
我が妻よ
There we go.
長い間寂しい思いをさせてすまなかった
Now that the Iron Pot husband felt he could be together with his wife, he finally offers her an apology.
それはお前様のせいではございませんでしょう。けれど再び私から離れようとしたことはしばらくは許したりしませんから。
You ain't ever leaving, boy.
それはお前その
I think I know who wears the pants in this relationship,
これ
yup.
から先も長く迷惑をかけることになるだろうそれでも共にいてくれるか
お前様こそもう二度と離れたりしないでくださいまし。
God, she's perfect. And under the golden rays of the setting sun, the long-separated Iron Pot couple renew their vows to one another. Nice! See, I guess it makes sense. When you gather so much spiritual power, it could just counteract the corruption that had also built up over all those years. So, excellent. Though that'll still, excuse me, it'll still take some time, but at least they're together again.